Morning everyone, here we are at the McGrath Castle, just outside Pettigo in County Fermanagh. It's Easter Monday morning 2024 and I'm about to set off on a organised pilgrimage track, 12 kilometres on the old pilgrim route between what would have been between the shores of Lough Erne and Lough Derg pilgrimage site, St Patrick's Purgatory and Saint's Island. But joining other pilgrims today, but we're walking part of that track which in the medieval period was so important right across Europe and well known, marked in many medieval maps. The castle behind me we'll be exploring on another day, but today we're going to set off on this journey on foot and I look forward to you joining me. So let's get going. We're going to make our way first of all to the Lough Derg Visitor Centre, where we'll meet the other pilgrims and set off from there. Here we are, the car park, the visitor centre on the land side, the mainland, County Donegal, visitor centre of Lough Derg. Plenty of parking. Just go around. This is the boathouse and one of the pilgrim boats and some of the islands on the loch itself. It's a very windswept day. And panning round the station island, you can see across the loch and the basilica, and the start of the pilgrim path, which we'll be walking today along the shores. We're making well along the path, and there's a great view of Station Island on the pilgrim path here. See some of my fellow pilgrims just ahead on the path, and we're making our way now to St Brigid's Well. It's about 2 kilometres from the visitor centre along the shores of the loch. Again, just a little image there of the island in the distance, and those moody Donegal skies above it. Right on the shores of Lough Derg. Many wells across Ireland are dedicated to St Brigid. She's the patroness of Ireland and patron along with St Patrick. It's a tradition to leave an offering, a small piece of clothing or other small artefact, particularly if someone is hoping for a cure or just as a little votive. Holy wells are popular throughout Ireland. This one, a beautiful location right on the shores of Lough Derg, with Station Island in the distance. Just noticed a pilgrim shell from Santiago de Compostela, the great pilgrimage path in northern Spain, and the cross of Santiago on the shell. So Lough Derg draws pilgrims from right across the world, as it has done right through the medieval period when the McGraths were Coarbs and Termoners here. People would travel from great distances, particularly in 1281 with the fall of Acre. European pilgrims would no longer travel to the Holy Land in pilgrimage, as it was unsafe to do so. So they looked west, and of course you couldn't get any further west than here. And St Patrick's Purgatory became an absolute must for European pilgrims to travel to. I've got lots of medieval literature that tells the story of St Patrick's Purgatory and the people that came here. On the Pilgrim Path, the top, you can see just down into Saint's Island. Quite a small island, once containing a monastery, priory, Abbey of St Davog, now gone, and a cemetery where the Augustinian monks would have been buried, and also we believe the Termoners, the Coarbs, the McGraths from the 13th century to the 17th century, who were the protectors of this island and also the island of Station Island, where today's pilgrimage now goes. So we'll move on, follow this path, this pilgrim path, along on a circular route around this headland. So we've come up from Saint's Island, which we've just visited, and we're on the headland just above it. I just wanted to bring you and show you this. This is the Black Lough North. It's a very remote loch right on top of the peninsula. An incredible place, so quiet, so silent. You can imagine this was the perfect area for pilgrims. You've got the loch below, the red loch, Lough Derg, the waters, the stormy, open piece of water. The wind never seems to cease there. But up here, total quiet, peace and quiet. And this is the furthest point, really, the pilgrims could go in Europe, west. Right on the edge of the then known world. Out just beyond the loch west is the Atlantic Ocean. Incredible place. So we'll just continue on now, and we'll visit some of the other sites on this pilgrimage path. Some of my pilgrim friends behind, so I thought this would be a good chance to talk a little bit about the McGraths of this area. So the area is known as Termonmagrath. So Termon, or church lands, that surrounded a monastic site, so quite an extensive area. And the title of Terminer or Coarb in Irish was a hereditary overseer of the territories and protectors and overseers of the church and church land, and effectively created a buffer zone. Particularly here in Donegal, you had three very powerful clans in the area: the O'Donnells of Tyrconnell, now Donegal, the O'Neills of Tyrone, and the Maguires of Fermanagh. So the buffer zone itself was a bit like a diplomatic zone where negotiations could be taken forward, be carried out under effectively the protection of the church. The McGraths had a very important role at the centre of that. The McGraths we know from the Annals of Ulster right in this area. They're recorded as early as 1290. So the 13th century, we know for sure that the McGraths were Coarbs, terminers and chieftains of the lands around this area. And that lasted really until the early 1600s, when in 1631, the then terminer, the person who had control of these lands, by that stage by a grant of title from King James I in 1610, was James McGrath. James McGrath was son of Archbishop McGrath. He was seized in 1610. By 1631, he was still transporting pilgrims to the islands of Lough Derg, but the Reformation had kicked in full scale in this last remaining Gaelic part of Ulster. This is the last really area to come under sort of English rule in total. So in 1631, Lough Derg and the station island was destroyed by the then Anglican Bishop Clocker and armed men. Visited the island, destroyed the church, destroyed the cave, which was the purgatory, using gunpowder, so blew it really to smithereens. Removed all the stone from the island. Did that stop pilgrims coming? No, they kept coming. And right throughout the penal era, right up until the 20th century, the pilgrims kept coming. In 1632, James McGrath sold the lands that were under his control, what was the old Termon lands, and those lands eventually fell into the hands of the Leslie family. Leslie's controlled much of the McGrath lands and others. In the 20th century, Sir John Leslie converted to Catholicism and gave the island back to the church. So the island then returned to the Catholic Church and the pilgrimage resumed officially, and it still runs to this day. So for a period of at least 300 years, the McGraths were the Coarbs, Terminers, chieftains and lords of the territories of Termonmagrath, Termonamongon, collectively known often as Termondavog, after the saint, the patron saint of these lands, Davog. Davog was, tradition says, a follower of St Patrick, and many of the areas are associated with Davog. The monastery on Station Island is St Davog's monastery, and we're going to just go and visit now St Davog's seat, or St Davog's chair, and we'll catch up then. So this is the path to St Brigid's seat, or St Brigid's chair. The chair itself, it's a stone with what looks like a carved seat in it. Pilgrims can scramble down the bank, take a seat and look out onto the lough. Of course, Station Island is in your view as you look onto the lough. Tradition says this is where St Brigid would take a seat and in contemplation of the great mystery all around her. And here I am on St Brigid's chair. And they've got a great view across the lake. A short scramble, and now back up. itself has calmed down so much. The water is so still. Quite amazing. The weather's so changeable, even in April. But a fabulous view from this viewpoint, just on the side of the loch. As we make our way back to the visitor centre.